Hey, what is up mortals? It is Stelecon here, and before we get into the video, there's a few things I'd like to say. Firstly, thank you to our supporters on Patreon. The full list will be at the end of the video. If you'd like to support us and our content, please go over there and check it out. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. This part of the story starts off with Class 1A on the bus to the USJ. Unlike in normal canon, Izuku is sitting with Bakugo and not Asue. Bakugo is flicking through Deku's alien notes. He wanted to see what he could actually transform into. Lame. Crap. Boring. How many arms do you boy need? Bakugo blurts out as he flicks through the notes before ending on 4 arms and giving it back to Izuku. Deku obviously felt a lot different about his aliens. He thought each one of them was useful in their own way. The other students chatted on the bus for a bit. Izuku wasn't really listening. Instead, he was trying to talk about combo moves with Bakugo. While they were closer than before, Bakugo did still find Deku rather annoying, and didn't really care much for what he was saying at the time. If any one of our classmates has a pro quirk, it's Bakugo Todoroki, or even Midoriya, someone in the front of the bus exclaims, flattering Izuku. As he looked to see who said that, he could see Kirishima looking at him. Izuku went to say thank you, but he was interrupted by Asue.
No way Bakugo would ever be that popular though.
Aggravated, Bakugo stares at Asue with an expression of anger, but he didn't do anything. With a quirk like Kachan's, he's set for the big leagues, Izuku exclaims, trying to stick up for his friend. Shut up, Deku! I don't need you to stand up for me! Bakugo yells at Izuku as he stands up. This caused Kaminari to start bickering with Bakugo, calling his personality flaming crap mixed with garbage, leading to Ida also joining in, trying to get both of them to be quiet. Izuku didn't really join in. He stayed quiet while thinking of how weird it was to see Bakugo getting teased for once instead of him. As the class got to the USJ, they were greeted by the rescue hero, 13. Something felt off to Izuku, however. He heard the two teachers, Aizawa and 13, talking about All Might. He couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but he could clearly see 13 hold up 3 fingers to signify something. But he just chalked it up to him being paranoid or something. The class entered the USJ with 13, explaining about quirks and how they could be used to kill or to save lives. But her speech was cut short by a strange power surge throughout the USJ building, shutting the facility's doors behind them. As this was going on, Izuku could hear a strange sound coming from his wrist. As he looked down at the Omnitrix, the dial was spinning on its own, with a semi-formed diamond shape on the screen. Izuku wasn't the only one to notice. Bakugo was also staring at the watch and giving Deku a slightly concerned look. But he didn't get a chance to say anything before everyone saw a massive void open up in the middle of the USJ. I thought this was rescue training, Kirishima mutters as he goes to take a closer look. Stay back! Those are real villains, Aizawa shouts as he puts on his goggles and gets ready to fight the villains. He rushed into the crowd of villains while telling 13 to protect the students. While he was fighting the villains, the strange mist that brought the villains started to materialize at the door of the USJ and right next to the students. Before anyone got a chance to do anything, the mist started to talk. We are the League of Villains. We know it's impolite, but we decided to let ourselves in. The mist kept talking. He said they were there for 2 reasons. To kill the symbol of peace, and to find a certain piece of equipment. Bakugo and Kirishima jump at the sentient mist, but their attack did nothing, as the mist villain just engulfs the class into his mist to scatter them around the USJ. Deku and Asue were teleported to the shipwreck zone, like normal, but Mineta wasn't there due to being expelled. As Izuku landed in the water, with a villain charging after him, he tried to use the Omnitrix to transform into his water alien, Ripjaws. The Omnitrix wasn't being weird like it was during the power surge, but before Izuku could dial up an alien, Asue grabs him with her tongue and gets the both of them onto the ship. On the ship, the two started to discuss what was going on. One question stuck in Izuku's head: the equipment they were looking for. Was it the watch? Izuku didn't really want to talk about that, however, instead asking Asue why they would teleport her here and not somewhere like the fire zone. They didn't get much time to talk before more aquatic villains started to surround the boat. Starting to discuss a plan, they both explained their quirks to each other. My quirk lets me transform into one of 12 different heroes, but only for 10 minutes, and sometimes I don't get the hero I want. Izuku explains after Asue explains her frolic quirk. The intended plan was for Izuku to go upgrade and to merge the boat and get them out of there quickly, but when he used the Omnitrix, he accidentally transformed into the alien 4 arms instead. While facepalming, Izuku started to think of a new plan. It took him a couple of seconds, but then it hit him. He had a plan, copied a bit from All Might. After he informed Asue about the new plan, Izuku ran to the side of the boat and started to swear at the villains, just like Bakugo would have, saying stuff that would have gotten this channel demonetized. He acted like he was going to jump into the water to attack the villains head on. Then, as he jumped, Asue jumped onto his back and he leaped across the air and away from the villains. But as he was in the air, he turned his body to face the villains and clapped both of his pairs of hands with all his might to create a shockwave of air pressure, creating a whirlpool like in the normal show. When they landed, they had to walk a bit to get onto proper land, but Izuku used his time to think about that situation. Their last move was a real gamble that could have failed easily. When they got close to the center of the USJ and almost out of the water, they see Aizawa fighting a few villains while a strange guy with hands all over him watches, Shigaraki. As Aizawa was fighting the villains, Shigaraki rushed at him and got the better of him, being able to disintegrate the skin of his elbow. Aizawa pulled back before any serious damage could be done, but was met by the Nomu right behind him. Deku and Asue watched in terror as the Nomu started to beat on Aizawa, getting him in a state near death. Izuku was done watching. He wasn't a helpless kid anymore. He got ready to run into battle to help his teacher, but before he knew it, Shigaraki rushed Asue, ready to disintegrate her. As Izuku watched him get close to her, he could see an image of her turning into dust in his head, just like Aizawa's elbow. "Get away from her!" Izuku yells as he pulls his two right arms back and prepares to smash Shigaraki. "Smash!" Deku roars as he punches Shigaraki. As his punch got inches away from Shigaraki, the Nomu jumps in the way to block the punch, using his shock absorbing quirk to stop the blow. Izuku was stunned. Its speed was incredible. But fear also started to set in, as he couldn't stop Shigaraki from getting to Asue. As he looked over the Nomu's shoulder, he could see Asue with Shigaraki's hand on her face completely fine. Since the Nomu left, Aizawa was on his own. He was able to get one last use of his quirk before blacking out from blood loss.
Nomu, it appears we found the toy we're looking for.
Shigaraki mutters as Asue hops away from him, and as he turns his attention to Izuku.
Rip the Omnitrix off his lifeless corpse for master.
Shigaraki groans as the Nomu starts slugging at Izuku. Izuku noted what Shigaraki called the watch. Up until this point, he'd never heard of the word Omnitrix. "Bring it on, bird brain!" Izuku yells as he goes toe-to-toe with the Nomu. As the fight went on, Izuku noticed how his punches weren't doing any real damage. He needed another plan, and quick. He didn't need to think for long before a massive explosion comes from behind them, as All Might enters the USJ. He scans the area, seeing a bloodied Aizawa and an angry Izuku fighting the Nomu. In a blink of an eye, he goes blitzing through the USJ, punching villains on his way to help Aizawa and Izuku. He rounded up the injured Aizawa, Izuku, and Asue from the Nomu, while telling them to get him to safety. "But sir, I can help. Just look at me," Izuku said. He just wanted to help. "Young Midoriya, I got this," All Might exclaims with his normal, cheery confidence. With no other choice, Izuku lifted Aizawa up and started to head to the exit with Asue. As he went to the exit, he timed out and transformed back into his normal self. With the two walking to the exit, Asue started asking questions.
That guy, he said you had the thing he was looking for. Is that the watch you have?
She rivets. She overheard what Shirogaki said to the Nomu. Izuku didn't know what to say. He couldn't just tell Asue about the Omnitrix just like he did with Bakugo. He didn't quite trust her yet. Looking for an excuse not to answer, Izuku looked back at the watch. All Might versus the Nomu, but what he had seen had frozen him in place. It appeared All Might had attempted to suplex the Nomu, but he was caught in one of the portals from the Mist Villain, letting the Nomu counterattack by starting to grip All Might's injury that only he himself should know about. "Hey Sue, could you take Mr. Aizawa for me?" Deku mutters as he gives Aizawa to Asue. She was confused but took him anyway, but she still asked what Izuku was going to do. Then without looking back, Izuku starts to sprint All Might while yelling to Asue, "Saving All Might!" The Omnitrix hadn't fully recharged at this point, but Izuku knew it had to be close. As Izuku got closer to All Might, more fear started to set in. What if the watch didn't recharge in time? But none of that mattered, as Izuku heard the ping of the Omnitrix, signifying it had recharged. Then, without even looking at the Omnitrix, he activated it and slammed it down. Deku didn't care what alien he got, as long as he could help. As the flash engulfed Izuku, a creature came speeding out of it and headed straight for the Nomu, leaving a massive dust trail behind him. He'd gotten his speedster alien. Accelerate! In a matter of seconds, Izuku had reached the Nomu and started to rapidly kick the body in an attempt to loosen his grip on All Might. While it did loosen his grip slightly, All Might was still being pinned down by the Nomu's grip. Then, ice forms along the Nomu's body, stopping at his hand and before reaching All Might. As Izuku bounced back and away from the Nomu, he could hear a voice yelling, "What's the matter, nerd? Couldn't deal with these rejects on your own?" Bakugo, Kirishima, and Todoroki had also rushed to help All Might. Izuku got there faster due to his speed. As All Might broke free from the Nomu's grip, Izuku yells at Bakugo as a visor covered his face. "Watch me!" Within seconds of saying that, All Might told him not to. He's still got this. "You would have died if it wasn't for me and Midoriya," Todoroki explains coldly as he steps up to fight. While this was going on, the Mist Villain from before manifests beside Shigaraki and starts to talk. It appears the kid does have the Omnitrix. This only angered Shigaraki. He already knew this. Then he explained how Master would want to know how the boys seemed to be more skilled with it than they thought. And with him and All Might, plus all the other heroes coming here, they couldn't win. So, the Mist villain created a portal to bring them both away, leaving the Nomu behind to fight. While the villains were leaving, the fight between Nomu and All Might would go the exact same as in canon, sending shockwaves all throughout the USJ and launching the Nomu out of it. After the police rounded up the students and counted them, Bakugo pulled Deku aside to talk. "What the hell was going on with the watch during that?" he bluntly asked. Izuku had the same question, however. He had no clue himself. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now there's a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, I'd like to thank our $5 plus Patreon supporters for helping to fund these videos. Lastly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video as well as the editor for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out, mortals. Have an amazing day.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire.